This is a poem about one of the most appalling human beings currently striding across the earth. That is, of course, Donald Trump. He's not the worst. I mean, there's Putin and Xi still living. So obviously there's some pretty horrific people out there. Also, of course, there's the equally horrific people who are behind the scenes. The Elons and the Bezoses. But anyway, this little ditty is about Trump. And it's entitled Bought and Paid For. There's a little man who's grifted where he can. He's bought and paid for by Putin. He's stolen from his fans, shits in a golden gilded can that's bought and paid for by Putin. A man who would be king, oligarchs kiss his ring, bought and paid for by Putin. His followers all believe, to them he would not deceive. Still he's bought and paid for by Putin. On this he sets his eyes, a Nobel Peace Prize that's also bought and paid for by Putin. A peaceful man he claims, yet for world domination he aims. That'll be bought and paid for by Putin. With unprecedented power, he wants a golden tower, bought and paid for by Putin. The nation he will destroy, to him it's just a toy, that's bought and paid for by Putin. Christians so evangelical will follow him down to helical, and that's also bought and paid for by Putin. With World War III in hand, would you believe he'll blame Greenland? Not yet bought or paid for by Putin. When tried for crimes so heinous, he'll be given a free ticket by SCOTUS, and they've mostly been bought and paid for by Putin. The publicans bend the knee to the man Orange set free, but they've also been bought and paid for by Putin. When protesters come to town, he'll quite happily see them shot down. Guns bought and paid for by Putin. Those tax cuts for the wealthy will come from the unholy and unhealthy, not bought or paid for by Putin. Now, Elon's such a fine specimen, a real advert for too much ketamine. Bought and paid for probably by himself. He can afford it after all. And when Trump finally comes to die, he'll be found to be a spy. Bought and paid for by Putin. Who will then the crown alight on? Little Don? Ivanka? Perhaps Barron? All bought and paid for by Putin. Should he ever meet his maker, he'll be sent down to be a stoker. Join Putin and Xi and the rest. Now the heat will make him squeal, but then after all, that's the art of the deal. Bought and paid for by Putin. So if you're in a financial mess, do almost anything but less than being bought and paid for by Putin, Xi, the oligarchs, the Saudis, the evangelicals. Oh Lordy, just declare bankruptcy again. and again and again and again, and oh yes, yet again and again. But whatever you do, don't be bought and paid for by Putin. Well, I hope some of you at least quite enjoyed my little ditty. And if you did, you know what to do. Press the buttons and things, and make me a rich man in about 400 years' time. And please put any comments you like. If you've got other verses, put them down. If you want to say, "Oh, how horrible I am," tell me that. Right? But just remember this: 2 things. The copyright's mine, so if there's any money to be made ever, I get some of it. And the other thing is, don't be bought and paid for by some lousy scumbag. Okay. Bye.